all of you are in interracial relationships. Correct to say? Yeah, wow.
I like really spicy, extreme spice, and he likes very mild spice. So, even when I cook curry, I have to adjust a little. And now I feel like I can't take spice.
3, 2, 1.
Singapore is often described as a melting pot of Asia, famed for our living in harmony with diverse races, cultures, and religions. And yet, interracial relationships are still regarded as a sensitive and prickly issue. Are we ready to talk it out? I'm Shazza, and this is A Matter of Taste. Let's welcome Nas, Leo, and Russell on the show. Come on, guys, let's dig in.
Ooh, look at the spread.
This looks great, man.
It's the feast.
It is.
Look at that.
Truly.
I'm Russell. I'm 22 this year, and I'm currently serving national service. And my girlfriend, who is 22 as well, and she's a Nepali.
So you were saying just now you're on a seafood diet.
Yeah, I'm on a seafood diet.
You want to tell us more about that?
Oh yeah, I see food, I eat food.
I hate that I fell for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my old joke. Yeah.
It's great, it's great.
Hi, my name is Leonidas, and I'm married to a local Chinese. Challenging, at least at the beginning, but now after 14 years of marriage, I got to accommodate, and I think I become localized.
I kind of want the calamari.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else want?
I'm Nazrin. Now I'm known as Nazrin Ogisi. I'm married to a British. We've been married for 3 years. And we have a 2.5-year-old, a beautiful daughter, 2.5-year-old, and one along the way.
So this is clearly fusion cuisine. What do y'all think of fusion food?
Fusion food is like fusion people, what?
I guess it's like the
you
best
take-
of both worlds. I've never been a fan of eating on my own.
Right.
Yeah, company, that's what makes the food taste better to me.
That's true.
I couldn't say that.
But then again, if you think about it, these days, sometimes people are eating together and still not talking. And you go out and you see people on their phone, and I'm like, why? Why do you
Yeah.
go out and do that?
Okay. I just realized I was wrong. This is onion rings, not calamari. It's fine. It's just as good. So you're in NS, right?
Yeah.
This one, okay. But I was wondering, what is NS food like? Is it good?
It's edible.
It's edible.
It's edible. It's edible.
Okay, all of you are in interracial relationships. Correct to say? Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great. Well, actually, she's my first as well, and everything feels so natural with her, and she feels like she defines comfort to me, and whenever I'm with her, I just feel like I'm in like a second home of mine.
We were having a few drinks at the seaside in Barcelona. She came to visit me. Actually, it was her first visit to Spain to meet each other. I saw her eyes. There was something like an open door. It's like allowed me to read her how she was. It was the moment I knew it was her. Once seen, you can't unsee it anymore.
Well, in all honesty, we were dating for, I think, within a month, we knew. We were very honest. I guess we are older as well. And we knew what we wanted in life. So we were in line. Our future goals were the same. So after 9 months, we got married. And the rest is history.
What aspect of food, is the most challenging that you've experienced in your relationships? Is it a matter of taste? Okay, that's the name of the show.
So for me and my husband, I guess the only difficulty is that I like really spicy, extreme spice, and he likes very mild spice. So, even when I cook curry, I have to adjust a little. And now I feel like I can't take spice.
What would you say is a more challenging aspect of being in an interracial relationship? that comes to mind? Okay.
The culture shock, definitely. I mean, when you enter your other half's world.
Oh, okay, yes.
So when she enters my world, or when I enter her world, I think that's the most challenging thing, and living in a world that's not yours. There was a situation actually involving my wife and involving her adjustment, the process of adjustment to Spain. I had an argue with a friend of mine because of certain situations, so I had to stand tall and said, if you are really my friend, you will not be talking this kind of things. The friendship luckily was saved, but there's a thing to think about.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. I am Zulhilmi bin Muhammad. I am the mosque manager at Al-Nahda Mosque. I am also a solemnizer of the Registry of Muslim Marriages. So culture is something which is very rooted in most of us, in which how they usually do things, how they usually, probably even the food that they eat, even like the drink that they drink, may be different due to different cultures. For couples who struggle, do not worry. I think it's normal. Even those with the same culture can actually have certain parts of tension, certain parts of challenges, even quarrels and so on and so forth. So you do not have to worry too much, because it's normal. It's part of being, part of a marriage life. Part of being in a marriage life is also understanding and adapting to one another's culture and practices.
You're Muslim, right?
Yes.
So what was it like when you decided that he was the one for you?
I met him while I was abroad in Shanghai, and
Right.
so my parents were quite shocked, to be honest, because he's of a different religion.
Right.
But I told them to get to know him as a person, to understand his values. A decision on how we're going to move forward will come later on. That's between me and him, and we will discuss it further. But I would like them to know him as a person first before judging him otherwise.
Yes.
And that's something that, was very important to me.
In embarking this new beautiful journey as a couple, right, I think it is very important that when they want to convert, they understand the true meaning of the religion that they're converting in. Because the essence of a religion is very, very important, in which they learn about the do's and don'ts of the religion, the spirit of the religion, the practices of the religion, the culture of the religion, and what needs to be done to be, the best in this religion, for example.
So eventually, we did do the Muslim ceremony in Shanghai, and his parents are very supportive. They understand the Muslim ways, and they understand how important it is for my family, and to have that. And family is very important for both of us. So we wouldn't want that kind of tension between us.
Yeah.
So hence it went a very good way. I would say I'm very blessed in that sense.
I always believe that no matter how, or if you had converted by your own choice and force, you still have to respect and love your family. Even though you're married to your partner of a different faith, your family is still your family. You have to love them the way you have to love a family the way you should. And you always be sincere even though you have converted. And that's my advice to any couple who has converted. No matter how, always respect your family, especially your parents, and do not neglect them just because you have converted. Because I believe that's against the essence of, a faith. Yeah.
Even for our kids, I have a younger daughter. I have a daughter, a 2-year-old, and I have one coming up. So our first.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And so the first child, her name is her first name is Muslim, and the second name is an African name from his family. And then the second child, the first name would be an African name, and the middle name would be a Muslim name. So it would be fair. So that's how we deal with things like that.
That's really nice.
Because I had a marriage before, and it doesn't mean that if you marry a Muslim, the marriage will be perfect.
Yeah.
So it's about respect and understanding each other, and having that communication.
Yeah. Then Russell, what about you? Like, how long have you been in your relationship so far?
1.5 years.
1.5
Yeah.
years. Okay.
So yeah, it's been pretty good till now.
How do you meet her?
Oh, we met on Tinder.
Ah,
We met on Tinder.
okay,
so
okay.
yeah, went out for like a dinner date, and it went well. Yeah.
Modern age love.
Modern age love.
Yeah.
Were you on?
You cannot say it too loud.
Were you?
He's the pioneer.
I'm the
He's the
pioneer.
pioneer.
Wait, where do you meet your wife? You want to share?
I think it no longer exists.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
website.
yeah.
MySpace.
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 No longer exists.
I don't think it does.
thought it
I don't know.
does.
Does it?
It
Or is it
still
just
does?
like not being
It
in
does.
use?
Nobody remembers it.
Okay, back to you, Russell. So I wanted to know, like, what keeps you going in your relationship? I suppose, would you say it's serious, right?
Yeah, it is, it is.
Yeah.
I think as a young couple, I think what keeps us going is definitely the growth. Like, the different stages in life. Because as we are still quite young,
Right.
we'll go through like many like phases. Like, you can be studying one moment and the next moment you're serving the nation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and after this is like out to the world and, working or studying,
Like, okay, I'm not to ask like in a suggestive way or anything, but have you ever like thought about how like about the easier route, like dating a local Chinese girl, how that would go for you?
I think for me, like, I mean, as much as you can have preferences when dating someone,
Right.
but at the end of the day, it's like, I do it for like the experience, like the connection with the person.
Yes.
And if it gives you what you want, then the whatever on the side shouldn't matter. Yeah, definitely. So it's all about being accepting, and just taking it as a new experience. Yeah.
Even with the same race or same religion, sometimes you're still on different planes,
There could be more
Yeah,
challenges even in the same,
yeah, it could be,
the same
Correct.
thing. Right?
I'm 𝗘𝗣𝗜𝗓𝗍, a pastor with the Lutheran Church for 40 years. And in these 40 years, I had solemnized more than 150 couples. For us as the solemnizers in Singapore, first and foremost, we are authorized to solemnize marriages in Singapore regardless of faith. All right, but because we are also a religious leader, we can do the religious solemnization for our followers.
Speaking of which, what is, because you all have more experience in that sense, so what's your advice for Russell?
Communication is key. So no matter how angry, or how big the argument is, make sure you settle it. Do not leave it and prolong it. Yeah, and
Before going to bed.
Yes. Yes.
So you believe in that?
I do,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't go to bed
Angry.
Yeah, my motto. I actually have a poster in our room that says that. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Sometimes we tend to assume that by the time they say that they want to get married, they will have sorted out everything, but that is not the case. And because sometimes, just because we enjoy the company of each other, we think that we are ready for marriage. When actually there's a lot of things in marriages that if you know beforehand and you are able to be prepared about that, it can enhance your life together a lot. For example, what do you do when you're angry? How would you like the other person to respond when you are angry? And and how can we best communicate with each other when we are in such challenging situation? And all these are helpful in their relationship together.
Before we go on, there's a lot of food on the table.
Yes.
So let's pause and dig in a bit first.
Okay.
Okay.
Earlier,
What?
that egg is looking at me with...
Oh, yes.
has your name
Yes,
on
it is.
has my name.
Yeah, go ahead, dig in.
A lot of people underestimate the stress that the differences in religion or religious belief can cause to the relationship. And it is important that they can have some heart-to-heart talk about this so that they are mentally prepared for some of those challenges that may come their way thereafter. It's better to think about it and decide not to go into because the challenges is too great, rather than to go ahead and then regret later on.
So now let's sit back and move on to our game. What should you do? Wait. Explain your answer.
It was very enlightening. I mean, every time you come in contact with people with different backgrounds, with different luggage, different background, it's always enriching.
They probably went through what I went through when they were younger as well. And listening to their perspective, it was refreshing. Like, I have a better understanding of how would people approach it. I mean, I may not necessarily have to follow them, but I still think it's a good experience listening and just partaking all the their approaches. Yeah.
Russell, well, he has a long journey ahead. We've all been there. He will have his hurdles, and what doesn't break you only makes you stronger, I would say. He will learn from it.